So a vector is array. It has an initial point and a final position, final point. So here's an example. Find the component linear combination form and the magnitude of the vector. So on any on a surface, two-dimensional surface, uh, this would be the initial point at 0, 0, and then you would have a terminal point, and let's say it's 3, 4. So the ray actually goes from 0, 0 to 3, 4, and so there's the ray. What we want to do is find the components, the x component and the y component of this vector. And how do we do that? So there's the formula for it, and the component form of vector formula is this. The vector will equal to subtract the x values, comma, subtract the y values. Make sure you know that the x2 is always the head of the vector, and the tail is the x1 component. So in this situation, it is going to be 3 minus 0, and for the y's it'll be 4 minus 0. So 3 minus 0 is 3, and 4 minus 0 is 4. So the vector, the components forms will be 3, 4. There's another way of saying the same thing, and it's called linear combination form of a vector. And basically what you're saying is that you're moving in the x direction, which is the I direction, 3 units, and in the j direction, which is the up and down direction, the y, 4 units. And so the answer would be linear combination form of a vector is going to be 3i plus 4j. Next, what is the magnitude of the vector? Which is actually the length of the vector. And the length of the vector, as you should probably see, is that's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So the length of the vector is going to be 5. Another way of doing it is by doing the Pythagorean theorem and saying that the vector, magnitude of the vector, and it's done by signifying that with these like absolute value signs, that it is the magnitude of the vector. Just plug in the x value, the y value, work it out, and it turns out to be 5. Here's another vector. The initial point is negative 3, 2. It will be the negative 3, 2, and then the terminal point will be 4, negative 1. We want to find the component form of the vector, the linear combination form of the vector, and the actual length of the vector. And basically we do it just the same as we did the other one. X2 would be 4. So really it's going to be 4 minus a negative 3, which will be 7. And then you have negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. So it's 7, negative 3, the component form of this vector. Same thing, we're talking about the linear combination form of the vector, which is going to say that it's moving 7 units in the I direction and negative 3 units in the j direction. The magnitude of the vector, again, is basically the Pythagorean theorem. There it is. Plug in the numbers, work it out. You get 7 squared is 49, negative 3 squared is 9, 9 plus 49 is 58, square root of 58. Okay, so you can go back to the PowerPoint presentation and work this one out on your own. I gotta move on.